Hey everyone, welcome back to Puck Around and Find Out. Today we're doing a deep dive on the trade activity at the deadline, what this means for the Leafs long term, and ultimately let's talk about that collapse in Colorado because there's no way to avoid it. So let's start with Scott Laughton. The Leafs went out and grabbed a center from Philly. A move that might have gone under the radar otherwise, but you know nothing's going under the radar with the NHL trade deadline. What does the Laughton acquisition mean for us? Let's dive into the stats first. In 60 games played this season, he's notched 11 goals and 17 assists, has a face-off percentage close to 50%, which is an improvement for us at that line. And he's had 129 hits, which adds some serious grit. He's a versatile center. He can play up and down the line. But realistically, you should be thinking of him as a more offensively capable David Camp. What the Leafs are getting here is playoff-style hockey. He plays with edge. He's willing to go to the dirty areas, and he can win a key face-off late in the game. Most importantly, what Laughton brings is that playoff warrior mentality, something that the bottom six has lacked for quite some time. Bottom line, expect energy, leadership, and some sneaky offense out of this one. Next up, we have Carlo, a move that I absolutely adore. With Carlo added to this group, we have truly rounded out our blue line. Let's look at his stats in Boston. Now, starting with the less impressive 1 goal and 8 assists, that's not where we're looking to him for. And moving swiftly to the 64 blocks and 119 hits he has recorded this season, we're bringing some serious physicality to our D group. This guy is 6'5", 200 pounds, and has a career plus minus of plus 129. He is a true shutdown defenseman. And I know we're all thinking it. Is he the guy that can play with Morgan Rielly? One of the biggest defensive holes this season has been defending the front of the net and clearing out traffic, and Carlo lives for that role. This is the type of defenseman that we have been begging for a long time. He's going to play a top 4 role. He will be paired with Rielly. I am praying that that goes well. He's going to have some big-time defensive zone starts, and realistically, with this new addition, Tanev, OEL, potentially the return of Hakanpää, all of a sudden, dare I say it, Toronto's blue line is looking legit. All in all, we've addressed team toughness, we've added a 3C, we've added some defensive depth. I would genuinely say that Brad did a pretty good job at the deadline. Now, I know that you knew this was coming, but we still need to talk about the Colorado game. This is one of those games that really leaves you shaking your head because things could have ended much differently without a couple of key mistakes. So Toronto went into the third with a 4-3 lead. But instead of locking it down, they decided to let the wheels completely fall off. Colorado ends up winning the game 7-4, adding 2 empty netters. Really, this is a 5-4 collapse with a couple of late desperation plays towards the end of the game. Let's talk about the complete defensive breakdown. So early in the game, Carlo and Rielly are still getting their feet wet and let in a couple of goals early. That's fine. Ultimately, we understand that these are new players that are being integrated into a new system. They haven't had a morning skate, they haven't had a practice with the team, and it's going to have some bumpy moments over the course of this journey. But that does not account for the fact that the Leafs, heading into the third period after having, an opportunity to kind of settle into their roles, were continually getting hemmed into their zone, could not break free, and Colorado was truly controlling that game. Stoli was hung out to dry. Defensive coverage in front of the net simply was not good enough. But let's talk about the key moment in this game, which comes at 5-4, when the Leafs are pressing Colorado and looking for that equalizer goal with just a few minutes left in the third. And what does Morgan Rielly do? He makes brutal mistakes. Instead of settling the puck down, thinking, making a good play, Morgan Rielly buries it deep. Colorado picks it off and ends up with the dagger goal. I know I seem oddly calm in this particular moment, but this is the kind of thing that I've come to expect from Morgan Rielly, unfortunately. This simply can't happen. So what did this game expose? Toronto still can't protect a lead. Toronto is still in a position where defensive structure breakdowns can lead to key moments late in the game that cause momentum to swing in the other team's direction. The other thing I will say is that forwards in this game, for the most part, did not manage the puck well enough, leading to additional strain to the defensive group and to Stoli. This was a winnable game that ultimately got away from the group. And so what do they need to do for next time? The new guys clearly need a little bit more time to gel. The team needs to work on mental toughness and the ability to close out a game and play a full 60 minutes. So while there is a lot to like about this roster post-deadline, this last game proves that winning on paper clearly isn't enough. Because come playoff time, you don't get any do-overs. All right, guys, that's all for today's episode. But if you enjoyed it, please hit the like button, subscribe for more, and hit the share button. Send it to a friend. Until next time, Leafs Nation, stay loud, stay proud, and as always, go Leafs go.